snafu here. I'm gonna make a little adjustment. Hang on. So, just so everybody knows, I also film this. I go live on YouTube. So if there's at the end of a class, if you want to review something or you want to practice it during the week, you can go onto my YouTube channel. If you look at the most recent live stream, you'll find it because I'm just live streaming once a week using this format. Okay, so let's start feet roughly shoulder width parallel. And for those of you that aren't part of the Zoom class but are looking on YouTube, this is just like one of my regular classes. So we'll start feet shoulder width and parallel. Relax your low back. Be soft and buoyant in your legs. Get that feeling of being suspended from above and relax your spine down. Relax your shoulders onto your torso. Get a sense of being a hollow column. Feel the inside space of your body and where the center of that is, the physical center of the whole body, but also the center line of that column. And align the head on it and then align it between your feet and between the ball of the foot and the heel. And that sweet spot lets you activate like you can utilize easily, but you're not tense or tight or holding weight in any way, or you're not tensing your lower leg to hold weight, but instead you're ready to move. So we want that alive and lively feeling everywhere. We're going to start with just giving our attention to our center first. Place our tongue lightly on the roof of the mouth, and we're going to observe our breathing for a moment. And watch how that shifts us a little bit, and we want to allow a freedom internally so our breath can flow freely, yet we don't change our stabilizing position, and we don't add to tension to breathe deeply. So we're going to breathe as low into the diaphragm as we can, trying to breathe all the way down into the dantian. As you're standing and breathing, you're attending to the basic structure and where weight is flowing. You're just basically using your whole body together to gather yourself into that center line and relax into it so your weight goes straight down and out through the hips and straight down into the feet. And it's literally like a gathering. Your whole body is just kind of collecting yourself and relaxing into that unified feeling. Notice where the lines of tension are and try to relax them into the places that are already relaxed so that they come together. There's less separation. Focusing on your exhales allows you to relax more completely. Inhale is a filling, exhale is an emptying. Try to do it gently but completely. Be only as full as is very comfortable but enlivening. Be as empty as is very comfortable and releasing. Relax the arms down. And on your inhale, you're going to breathe through your whole body into your center as you outreach and expand to take in. As you exhale, relax. Relax back towards the center, sinking into your legs. Letting yourself collect yourself in your center. Notice I'm straightening and loosening and releasing. There's a rising, falling here. As I expand through my legs too. Then, now on our inhale, we're going to condense, like we're compressing into the Daoyin. On the exhale, release. And we're going to bounce. And counter swing. And then column swing. You can even add in a little dragon spine into this. So it comes from the legs, rolls up into the arms. Here, I'm really working with the sense of that rolling up from the legs. Got that contraction here that brings the spine up, right? And I'm letting that continue into the arms. So those closing and opening actions is what drives the movements of the arms. And I just add a little energy into the arms and get it all the time together. And then counter columns. You know, some of these things you're intermingling. You know, a lot of these exercises you learn over time are like little concentrated pieces of something, and then you integrate them together. So like we learn to work with dragon spine and dragon body, Daoyin, and all that other stuff. But then we can learn to integrate that into our other movements. And what that does, it helps us to learn how each type of movement offers something to the other in terms of opening things up and making it more loose and free. And we're always working with weight and motion and energy and how we're handling it, how we're supporting that, you know, with the legs, we always want to have that sense of a buoyant columnar support. It's just for good structure. And it works those structural muscles that we really need. Then we work on reaching out. Like you might reach and elongate from this stable base through this whole side into the hand. And we get, through doing soft action or light action, you gain control. Through doing a strong, like a strongly active, a little bit more physical action, you can activate the tissue to increase circulation of blood. You know, it's like whether you're working on a subtler softness and trying to allow for more free flow, or whether you're trying to squeeze the tissue and work it to increase its strength and free flow. And there's value. Each one serves the other. So here I'm trying to create a strong, stable base, like I could actually reach up and grasp something, right? And I have to stretch a little bit, but still always support that base and then pluck it with gravity, weight, my body. You can even come across the center line a little bit to like the opposite shoulder, and you'll notice that increases the twist in the low back. Or straight out from the shoulder. And that feels different. Like each side separates a little bit more. It's almost like you can really sink into one side and sink into the other side. Reach out from one side, reach out from the other. And relax. And those are just basic actions that you're taking. They're a very Wei Gong or external Qigong method, really focused on how the body's doing the thing. As opposed to Mei Gong, which is about how the Qi is working and flowing. All that. So after that, before we get into even the rest of the loosening, I want to do that meridian flow a little bit again. We'll do just the basic structure of it. Starting here, just Flowing up the yin channels, just getting a feel for that again, brushing out the legs, reminding yourself where they go. These yin channels come up onto the torso, the lower rib cage, mid rib cage, collarbone. And they reach up like this to catch, to receive. Yin channels reach up to receive, right? Whereas the yang channels come down to interpenetrate. All right, to come from the outside in, the top down. And so once they arrive here, they go through a transformative process as they interact with the qi of the chest, the heart, the lungs, as well as the yang aspects that are now coming in, right? And it changes the yin into a little bit more yang so it can outreach, right, to receive. It's still an extension of this idea of reaching up and out, but now it's a little bit more yang. It's got more dynamic to it than this part, right? But think of it as an extension, a transformed extension that through here, through this process of exchanging from yin to yang, it undergoes a change. It's still yin, but it's got that element of yang infused, and it helps to draw in and back down. And the yang comes in, all the deeper or the outer surface aspects, all the way down to where it joins with the yin. It comes in through the head, through the arms, and then down and wraps around. Wraps around the back, wraps around the front, all the way down, wrapping around those yin channels and sinking back to the earth. So now we're going to go through that meridian flow, a slightly different set of hand movements this time. We're going to stay open on the exhale here, and then receive in and turn. And so you're going to see it's a little bit more of like, well, you'll see. So we start here, inhale up. And exhale. Inhale in. Wrapping around, coming in, enveloping the head, the arm, the chest, like you're breathing into your body from the outside and down. And it's pressing in and down from the outside. It's like it's compressing in. Meanwhile, the yin is receiving. So it's not, there's no resistance. Inhale up. And shake it up. Hands, wrists, and fingers. Adding the elbows. Extending. This time we're going to extend the back of the fingertips, back of the hands together, press the shoulders down, open up the body, make it long, extend. Open up those columns, open up the inside of the right channel, the inside of the left channel, the side that faces the spine. And out. pillar of the sky. We're just going to try to, as we inhale and exhale, we're going to expand through the knuckles of each finger, through the wrist, elbow, shoulder, torso, shoulder into the torso, the spine, this whole side, ball and socket joint of the hip, knee, ankle, foot, all of it. Just try to work our way through it. Inhale. Maybe you start with the hands. Exhale and release. And we add in the elbows and shoulders. And then we add in the torso, the rib cage, and the spine. And the hips, and all the muscles that surround and connect the lower body, the legs into the torso. And the hips, knees, and feet. And then down. Nice and slow, just release. Now it's a little bit of work there. Your arms up like that. If you need to take breaks in it or do it in sections, that's okay too. And then just loosen for a second. Wow, the other way. Up here, extend down, open up the shoulder to the neck, open up the back, and then reach out. This time just extending from the bottom up. And then out forward, just nice and slow, opening all the joints as you go. Making everything long. The torso, the legs, the spine, the shoulders, the arms. Not pushing, just elongating. Pressing out now, as though you're pushing out your palms. And relax them. Relax them again. This is Daoyin. This is what, where you're really working with extending range of motion, support, structure, energy flow. It's kind of a lot more physical than some of the other stuff. Very valuable though. Stretches the tendons and ligaments. Now we go out to the sides. And we do the same thing with our fingertips and our arms and shoulders, elongating from the feet all the way through the torso, through the shoulders, through the hands, through the fingers, reaching out, and then with that dragon claw, we talked about this thumb and ring finger, middle finger working together, pinky and index finger working together. Right? We grasp, like we're reaching out, we're grasping the air and pulling it in, and we're going to feel muscles in the upper back and how everything's connected. Now, it's not just the muscles, we're actually breathing through it. You still want to have that sense of breathing through the meridians. As you grasp the air and pull, bring the shoulder blades together in the back. Just a little. And exhale. Now I want you to notice this position here. This is extended and my energy is here, and I'm going to push that energy in and let that push through the hands. And you'll feel yourself immediately warm up as you push that heart energy into Lao Gong. Relax down again, give your arms a break because we're going to do that again. And that was a long explanation. So you're just holding the position a lot longer rather than doing the action. But as you grasp and pull, I want you to imagine not only are you grasping and pulling, but Lao Gong is drawing the qi from around you deep into the chest. and into the heart and strengthening it. Meanwhile, you want to make sure you stay rooted and relaxed so that the yin energy can keep it from getting too hot too fast, right? But instead just makes it like a steam heat that can move through your body. All right, so come up and out. We outreach with the fingers and the dragon hand, dragon claw. Grasp and inhale. And we can add a little dragon spine into this as we do this. I'm breathing loud enough so you can hear it, so you know where the inhales and exhales are. But you can also condense the chi that way. Just don't go too hard, stay relaxed. Eventually you want to get it so soft that you don't need that. But you can, it's still really powerful where you just deep breath in and relax. Shake it. Good central equilibrium. Now we're just going to do that open and close with the chest. Try to keep it soft and relaxed now. Trunk twist from the center. Patting the diamond. Down the yang chin over the legs. And up the yin chin over the legs. Now, rather than just shoulder width, today I want you to go just a little bit wider, but don't stress out your knees. If any of this stress out your knees, bring your feet narrower again. But if you can, try to get a little bit wider and turn your feet out. You don't have to get this wide. Okay. Get a good basic structure. So you can kind of sit down in your stance, have a good straight and elongated spine. Good elongated and supported center line. Feel how the inside is vital to that, to the center line being strong and supported, and allow it to support you more in here. once we're here, we're going to do our waist rotations from here, nice and deep. Notice what's going on in the hips, low back, as well as the waist. And then the other way. And bring your awareness down to the ball and socket joints of the hips. We're going to first just move them both together, feeling those ball and socket joints. The other way. And just a shift back and forth. Just notice where it starts to get tight in here and in the inguinal, deep in the inguinal area, in the hip and groin. Right? And always have a gentle pressure down and receive back up. Pressure down, receive back up. Just kind of going back and forth, feeling that relationship here up and down through the ball and socket joint and how that relates to the spine and the bowl, the pelvis. Once you're there, and we're going to twist it as you do this. And I'm turning a little bit. Just let the knee, here's a triangle of the foot, right? You got the ball of the foot, ball of the foot. There's a, here. I can't invert it. There we go. Ball of the foot is here, heel is down here. There's your triangle, and it's front of the foot, back of the foot. Knee is up above it. Just making a small circle over the center of it, right? And I'm trying to notice where I'm tightening up in here that doesn't allow me to have a really good relationship there or to move it much and change what's not changing. And all I'm trying to do is release it so that weight can go down and I can press weight down to help me move. Meanwhile, I'm also trying to always be positioned so I can receive up as I press down. Now, from there, you start getting a really open relationship from the leg into the torso, to the center of the torso, but also through these right and left channels. What I want you to do now as you go back and forth is just to turn the waist and feel those right and left sides move in the, like just from the below, like from the twist and turn, and just let it move like a wave. Not too much, not so much that you're like going, you got to stay within the structure of the triangle of the feet, right? Just letting it be loose all the way to the shoulder. Then I want you to have your shoulder move with it, like that wave goes here and it naturally rolls. Like the weight of your arm makes the shoulder roll open, and the weight of your arm makes it roll this way. Leave the other one at the center, and just let it swing. And then just energize, like that activate, like just like you're trying to reach and touch the first molecule of air with your whole arm, but it's just barely touching as you do this. Then all we're going to do is bring it up just a little bit. Now I want you to get this sense of expansion, this expansion we've worked with before, right? Always supported by a really good structure. Let it be coiling. It's okay to let your body coil and over. This isn't the way you'd actually do it in form, but it's a good remedial practice to help you open and loosen your body. Let that shoulder go. Remember the elongating, right? Let the momentum pull out and let it elongate so you get that feeling of pulling the joints open at the far end. You can even like you're releasing out the tension afterwards. Just And using the momentum of the body. Make sure you've got good structure. And you can focus on the spiral where instead of just coming open like this, it starts to roll, right? So you get that spiral through the whole thing. And again, the fingertips are always lightly touching something. Like they're reaching out and touching the air or mist. This is dragon coiling, by the way. And we try to make it a smaller and smaller motion where there's less having to go back and forth, but we're still harnessing the power of the leg. We do the same thing with the other side. Now we start, remember, we didn't have the arm involved at first, just getting that receive, expand, and into the torso. Like you're building up this movement from the bottom, getting more and more of this right or left channel to move. You just slowly add more arm, right? Sense of expansion at the same time. Spiral. And maybe you make it a smaller and smaller movement. And then and relax. Shake out your legs. And bring your feet roughly shoulder width. Press through the legs, do a quick stretch in the hamstrings and sacrum and Dantian, or not Dantian, Ming Men, which is the low back. Just elongate. Start with just working on elongating. Elongate from the knee, heels through the toes, from the heels to the sacrum, from the tailbone to the head. And take up any slack. If your body feels like you don't need to hold yourself up and you can continue to keep as everything as long, just sink, support yourself with your arms a little bit, sink into it. Focus on your exhales to release. Working your way down. Turn to one side. Turn to the other side. And 2 dragons circle the pond, nice and slow. Just don't reach too far. You keep a good stable base. Reach from that stable base through your body. Widen the feet a little bit, sink down into squat stance. Spine nice and long. Body upright. Hands down. Relax and just let this open up the inguinal muscles. And look back so both cameras can see. I still can't see me. Too low. Notice I kind of rock back and forth, never past my support of my hands. Just opening up the hips. And I come back. I set them the low back and roll the spine up on the top. And neck last. And a little dragon spine. Deep breath in and exhale, relax. Shake it out. All right. Let's flow through the 16 fundamentals of one side. So 16 fundamentals are one side. 16 mirror is both sides. I'm not sure which one I did last week. So we're just going to go, some days I'll do one, some days I'll do the other. Choose as you like, which one you like. In fact, learning to be able to go back and forth between them, it's great. It's good practice, good for the mind. All right, central equilibrium. I'm going to do this. Don't need to see that far above my head. And now you can see more of my feet. I should have did that a lot earlier. More of my legs. All right. So feet together, sorry. Sleeping dragon awakens to find the moon. Taiji beginning. Deflecting left. And right. Roll back. And expand. And more pounds and more. Split left. Open right. Cross the hands. Move to right. Squeeze.
Mark, can you mute yourself? I don't see Jim anymore. I see you.
And push.
I see you too. I don't know.
Hang on, I'll get it. Sorry. There. Now you guys should all have me. There we go. Let's take it from the Immortal Pounds of Mortar. Sorry about that. One of the things you can also do when you sign in yourself is you can pin me. You can pick me, like if you select, well, I guess maybe on iPads and stuff you may not be able to, but there's a way in most things you can like hover the cursor over my screen, like where I show up, and then hit pin. And it pins me to the thing. You'll have just me. Even if somebody else talks. Not that they won't be distracting. All right. From the end of Immortal Pounds of Mortar. Remember, we have this exchange of yin and yang, this receiving versus expanding, right? And so it got split. And open. Cross the hands. And look to the right. Squeeze and press. Push. Two dragons seal the gate. Roll the pearl and hook with crane's wool. Bump, single whip. Catch and pull down. Cross the hands. Deflect right, I should say. Press. Step around. Turn on the heel. Immortal Pounds of Mortar. Split. step back. Step back to the right. And white crane fence off snake. Settle it. Windmill the arms. Brush past the knee. Pluck. Fiddle. Outreach. Neutral arms. Cross. Outreach. Neutral arms. Cross. Windmill the arms. Brush past the knee. Pluck and play the loop. Outreach. Neutralize. And press. Catch and pull down. Circle palms. And we'll pounce it. Close. So next week I'll try to remember that I did the dominant side. So next week I'll do the yin side. And rather than the yang side, I'll do the yin side. And then I say that because I'm right-handed. For you, you might find left-handed is dominant. That's why I called it dominant rather than yang or yin. Not everybody can understand those correlations completely yet, but all right. So does anybody have any questions about anything we did? I mean, it was all pretty straightforward, I think. A large part of the internal elements of all of these practices is the repetition of the basic principles and the basic structures that we work with, and learning to move from them. This idea that everything moves from our relationship to the ground. You know, you can say it comes from the center, but your center has to interact with the ground in order to make the whole body move in one way or another, right? If it's just disconnected from the ground and just doing things from above, well, then it's losing a source of power, right? It has a bad relationship, or a rigid and undynamic one. So we want a dynamic one. So it's sometimes you'll see it, somebody will say, oh, this happens in the foot first. Other people say it happens in the center first. It's all happening as one contiguous thing. It's not even broken up. It's all happening together. There's no separation ever. And so you can conceptualize it how you like. Maybe you personally need to focus on releasing the foot because you have so much tension there. So you have to think of it as beginning in the foot. That's fine. Do that. If you feel like that keeps you away from a whole body experience that's from the center, then it's there. You need to focus on that. All of these practices and the ways different teachers talk about them, including myself, is all just trying to come at it from a way to like point at an experience that isn't, it's like, how do you talk about the experience of a rose? I mean, you can talk about the thorns, you can talk about the petal, you can talk about the scent, but you're not going to get it unless you've had it. Each of those things, right? So we're just trying to point you in a direction, and then it's up to the student to then take that direction and make it theirs, like explore. This is an art of exploration. So explore, don't be afraid. You can't, if you keep basic principles in mind, always stay upright and structured. Always stay calm and relaxed. Never too much, right? Never too far. You're not going to hurt yourself, right? You're only going to hurt yourself by not listening to what your feedback of your body is. So just keep getting deeper into the feedback of your body, and you'll move into a more and more refined, and respect your limits. If you're doing something and you're going over here and it feels hard on your knee, then maybe you're going too far. Try to examine where it is, right? It's these things are fingers that point at where we can improve. Oftentimes it's, we've got tension somewhere. It's not even that I'm going too far. It's that I've got tension that doesn't let me move that far. Right? It's not too far for my structure, but it's too far for my tension. So I got to come back from where that is and learn to relax that tension first before I can go further without any difficulty. Right? You should feel this, on the tissues of the muscles and the connective tissue in the sense of strengthening, like they're working. But you should never feel it like it's like really hard or painful or sharp. So don't, okay? All right. Anyways, thank you guys. Trisha, have a wonderful week. And we'll see you again next week. And again, if you want to review any of these things that we did, particularly like this one's an awesome one to review, just to learn how to just get that body to move in that coiling way, that coiling dragon way. It's a good practice. You just zone in. You can even, when on your own YouTube, if you want, when you get there, you can actually mark certain spots. There's a way to mark that spot. And so that way, when you come back to the video, you can go right to that spot and work on that piece. Okay? So play around with that. You'll find it. Exploration is the secret to life. It's almost like we were born to do it. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful week. And happy spring, even though it doesn't feel like it right now.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. And thank you guys for joining me. Those of you who are not part of this class and are just taking in these classes that I'm doing on the YouTube live stream. It's working to kind of fit in, and they've got a nice studio here with lots of lights. So that works out really well. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week in the live stream. All right. So many blessings of radiant health and a peaceful, happy heart.